Dire team back.
Yeah, I went to a game.
Right, I shall take a drink, then we can get underway.
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
This is a winner's bracket where we have Gambit Esports versus Team Empire Hope in the fight to make it to the grand finals to play for the space in the minor. Only one slot for the CIS. Who's it going to be? I am joined by, of course, the lovely Tsunami this time around. I've swapped up. I got bored of Mo Farah and brought in somebody new. How's it going, dude?
This is good. I didn't actually watch too much of the Chongqing Qualifer. I know you probably saw like quite a bit of Lich, I think. Anti-Mage seems to be a CIS specific thing because I'm not really seeing that too much in other regions. And then Grimstroke, as we see getting banned, seems to be a very popular addition ever since his entrance into Captain's mode.
10 seconds.
Yeah, people have been loving the Grimstroke, and weirdly, the hero we've been seeing the most of ever since the patch really is definitely Brewmaster, I think. Rubik fallen out of favor a little bit. We saw loads of Rubik when the patch first came out. Like, Rubik was everywhere. But now they've kind of calmed down on the whole Rubik thing. And yeah, I think Brew's probably the most picked hero of this tournament so far. We're seeing him around every corner. But Dazzle always popular right now just because Pat Juju is so damn good. There's a lot of few heroes poking around. But yeah, definitely... the Sand King, Brewmaster, these tend to be your first phases, and I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, the Brew gets banned out. Thank God, because I was actually super bored of watching that hero.
I would be only excited to see it if someone finally tries to take the concept of the one position Brew out of hypothetical and actually puts it into execution, because every single Brew I've seen so far has been utility oriented, which is how he's always been played, but I don't know, I think one position is being slept on.
Yeah, push the meta a bit, get that boat out. Meanwhile, Team Empire, they will start things off with the Lone Druid. Now we've seeing a fair bit of Lone Druid when it's not banned out. This hero's, I mean, he's not like, he doesn't feel super strong, but he feels pretty damn good. I still think Spirit Link is kind of like, it's this weird spell where it obviously movement speed and attack speed is always really nice, especially to get that entangle off, but at the same time, like, the healing part of it is really kind of bad. Like, it steals for the other component, and with the way people are building Lone Druid right now, they're the hero and giving nothing to the bear, so basically just healing a useless bear up, which is kind of like, oh, well, whatever. But the attack speed and the movement speed are really nice.
Yeah, overall, it has like slightly more uptime than the old Rabid, and it's a little less mana intensive, and so the lifesteal component seems to be just like the gimmicky thematic part of the spell, which is what 7.2 added a bunch of, especially with the original Cinder Brew being all like, oh, it's gimmicky type advantages and stuff like that. So I don't really think too many people need to put focus on making the synergy of the lifesteal, but it's a shame in general that the bear is just being completely ignored. And I think the primary reason that a lot of people are citing is just because the move speed changes have been, I guess, a little too impactful to make the bear useful. The original phase boots of 7.2 were great because you just sick the bear on someone, have phase boots on the bear, and for one thing it's less micro, but on the other hand it's also a great way that the bear can consistently stay stuck on a target even when Spirit Link is down. But now when we're back to active phase boots, it's just too difficult to make the bear useful, so you're better off just putting on primary ranged druid.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, like, he's just an ensnare, right? He's a four-legged ensnare. He does his job, and he's just like, all right, thank you, bear. You're no longer required.
Backup Savage Roar if things go a little bit hairy.
Oh yeah, he's also got that spell as well. Yeah. But we have a Coddle coming out, Coddle Beastmaster. Now we have seen a little bit of the Coddle floating around. I mean, GH played it fantastically in the major qualifiers, and every now and again we see him showing his beautiful face, throwing down the Will-O-Wisp new ultimate, drawing everybody to a lamp.
Yeah, I, like many other people, was immensely skeptical of the new Coddle, primarily because I thought Mana Leak was like one of his most underrated spells. But I think more people are... I'm only really a fan of Coddle whenever he's given an opportunity to make this new post-cooldown Chakra Magic useful. Like, the Will-O-Wisp is nice. If you can have Teamfight Ultimates combined with it, that's great. I'm sure with Beastmaster you can probably do some stuff, especially now that the pushback on Primal Roar is so great. And Blinding Light is also useful if you see an enemy one position that gets affected by it heavily. Lone Druid is a high-profile candidate for hating the new Blinding Light because he does not like building any of the stuff that purges off. He doesn't like building BKB, doesn't really like building Manta, definitely doesn't build Greaves, and he's not gonna... We don't really see the Necrobook build that frequently on Lone Druid these days. And so it's a great counterpick against Lone Druid. So if they don't have anything to buff up with Chakra Magic, I'm fine with it. But still, that's like my... I think that's where Coddle's really going to shine in competitive. And I guess with Beastmaster you can kind of do some synergy. Wild Axe's cooldown will go super low, and so you can stack that damage amp even more.
Well, actually, we've been seeing it being used mostly to stack the boars. Like, you know, you can get multiple boars, and that tends to be the Keeper of the Light and Beastmaster combo in the offlane. Just tons of boars running around. I mean, I say tons. Usually you get, like, maybe 2 in the early game, but it's still annoying to deal with. The slow is so good. Just having 100% uptime on that boar is really strong for your laning phase, and that guy now doing hero damage as well just seems to hurt a lot more, and really kind of messes with your carry as well. I mean, slowing down a carry permanently, you know, without using your cooldowns, just using that boar to hit away at him, gonna make it really difficult to last hit. You know, it really does affect your last hitting.
Yeah, and the onus is typically on the support hero to be like, I have to spend my mana killing these boars instead of harassing. And these days, I don't even... So how have Liches been doing their skill build? Because that is something that I haven't really gotten much data on. Are they primarily going Frost Shield? Or it's just a value point in Sinister Gaze? Or what is the deal?
Yeah, it seems to be varying from... People do tend to level up that Frost Shield and go for the value point in Sinister Gaze, you said. But we have seen some people going for the Frost Blast if they need the damage. I've even seen like 1 or 2 people going for the Sinister Gaze in very certain circumstances, but it's not very common.
Yeah,
I think there was a Bat Rider Lich lane where he like maxed Sinister Gaze, and that was like brutal, obviously, because you just sit on them.
Yeah, that is rough. I think the problem is that Lich's, like, his Frost Blast didn't get changed, and it was originally balanced around the fact that he had a mana battery supplying it constantly with Sacrifice. And so now, it doesn't really surprise me that like Liches aren't being able to favor it as much, especially in a lane that will most likely be against a Coddle. You're not going to be able to just sit back and suck down Clarities, so I'm curious to see how he chooses to skill up this game.
Just like sitting under the tower, just downing Clarities.
Dude, against some offlanes you can definitely get away with it, but a Coddle Beastmaster, I'm very skeptical.
Yeah, yeah. Now Gambit will take the Tusk away from Team Empire Hope. Now this has been one of their stable go-to picks, therefore it's going to feel pretty bad to get it taken away from them. Haven't seen Gambit play it today yet, but yeah, this is one of Sayu's favorite heroes. So quite... I was actually surprised to see them not banning it, and then it made sense when they picked it. Although I thought they were setting up for a Terrorblade pick, looking at those bans.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they can still save it in their pocket for later in the draft. It's not urgent, I suppose, seeing as though Empire already have a Lone Druid on the field. They're not going to really opt for a second carry.
Yeah, that's true, though we have seen a few Druids going mid, and they're actually going to take out an early Lion. Alright, well, we saw this last game. Very disappointed that he wasn't walking around with like 2k finger damage, but still, pretty exciting.
I think it's going to be difficult for him to manage that this game as well. I don't... Again, Tusk is another hero that I'm not really sure how people are skilling him up. When are you typically seeing tag team being taken or maxed? I'm assuming probably later in the game, or maybe like a value point early on and max it out later.
Tend to be either value point or even maxing it early on over the snowball, just value point and snowball, value point and shards, and go for the tag team and just go right click people down.
Okay.
I think it depends on the lane again. You know, that's the great thing about Tusk and a lot of these heroes which we're seeing picked up a lot is that you can vary what you build and what you pick. You know, I think that's a strength with even Coddle as well. You know, sometimes we even see them not going for the Illuminate and chasing down other trees. So yeah, it's always what's going to be leveling up the Illuminate this game, maybe.
Yeah.
Dire team pick.
Unless there's like some specific push that he's concerned about, but against Lone Druid, especially since, like you said, the bear primary thing is not really common anymore, so Lone Druid is not that terrifying of a pusher.
This is savage. I don't know if you've seen this so far, but Visage plus Tusk is absolutely brutal to deal with, because this tag team, it does affect the birds. At least it did before. They changed it with the spiders, but I don't think they've changed it with the birds, so... And those guys hit pretty fast, so they're going to be absolutely melting you if they're within that Tusk's aura.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if that still works, because it would only work if there's a specific exception for creep heroes, because Visage Familiars are like a higher tier of creep. But my understanding is that it's only units owned by Tusk and then allied heroes. But I think the slow may still apply, but not the damage. I don't know, this will be an opportunity for me to figure out the interaction. Cool.
But I mean, it definitely used to work on spiders, but they patched it. I don't know how much.
Yeah, and they specifically said like, okay, it's going to be only Tusk's units, and I think illusions also can proc it from anyone. But yeah, we'll see if it works on. I mean, at the minimum, you can still snowball them, and that's great.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sand King makes it somehow through to the 4th pick this game and will be taken by Team Empire Hope. So it's going to be a 3 position, sitting in that off lane and just annoying the hell out of whatever carry they choose to pick up on Team Gambit. We've also seen a couple of these Sand Kings being left to solo lane all alone versus either a tri lane or a dual lane, and it's worked pretty well in the past. I can see a Lich Lion Lone Druid lane being pretty difficult for the Keeper of the Light and Beastmaster to deal with. But I think they'll probably end up going for the dual lanes just because, I don't think you need to. I think you've already, Lone Druid is such a strong laner. He's not really going to lose his lane with a Lich anyway, especially when you've got the Frost armor to throw on the bear. It's going to be really strong. Or you can just combo it up the Lion and then, again, Lion's a nice laner.
Yeah, it depends on how vulnerable of a carry Gambit want to go for, but I think chances are Empire's hoping to do dual side lanes. Gambit bans out the Slark, and well, I mean, we'll see if Empire want to ban out that TB that you suggested. Let's see. Whoa. So what were Gambit's carries in the previous series? It was all anti-mage, wasn't it?
Oh, you're testing my knowledge now. It was 2 anti-mages and maybe 3 anti-mages.
10 seconds remaining.
Trying to remember what the first game was.
Anti-mage. That's all I know.
There were a lot of anti-mages.
Yeah, and then the previous time these two teams met, which was during the Chongqing qualifiers, in which Gambit was victorious. Gambit was victorious.
Yeah.
They had gone for a Juggernaut one game, they'd gone for a Spectre one game, and they went for a PA one game, but the PA has been banned out. And Jug, I think, was like at the beginning of the patch a little bit more popular. Now people aren't really picking it this much, as far as I know. And Spectre also, I don't think, is really seeing that much play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of liking the Juggernaut from Team Empire Hope, though. It gives them a nice evasion for the snowball, Raw's going to be pretty good against it, but you've got so much setup as well for, to get a nice long spin-off in the laning phase. But I mean, that would mean putting the Druid mid, but I don't think he minds going mid versus the Visage. And nope, it's going to be Team Empire Hope who take that Terrorblade, and Gambit just straight away pick up that Outward Devour. They were ready for that.
Yeah, it looks like it.
That was their plan. Does he still do crazy damage to illusions?
No, that was taken off the Arcane Orb, which is why I'm a little bit surprised that they go for it. At least I'm pretty sure it was taken off.
Alrighty then.
2-0 no longer deals bonus damage against summons and illusions. I mean, I guess the splash is a little bit useful, but that's only if a Terrorblade is like bad at microing and he clumps up all of his conjure images.
Yeah, which doesn't seem likely, to be honest. Like, June's been playing pretty good recently, and his Morphling's been pretty on point as well. And his Terrorblade's pretty terrifying, so I'm not sure what this OD accomplishes, but they've gone for it anyway, and we'll see what the plan is. As we load up into Game 1 in this best of 3 series, it's Gambit versus Team Empire Hope as they fight it out to find out who's going to be making it through to the grand final, then only one win away from making it to the Bucharest minor. Pretty exciting stuff as they load into this matchup, and I think for me, I'm kind of favoring Empire Hope here. I'm not sure Gambit will be able to end the game quick enough against this Terrorblade, but then again, they do have the Beastmaster and the Visage. If there's a team which can push, it's these two heroes.
Yeah, and Empire doesn't really necessarily have the best anti-push. All of their like spells that draw away aggro are a little bit too short range, and Lich's Frost Shield is not the old formidable tower defense force that it used to be. It's still good, but it won't really be that effective against like a Beastmaster and Visage push, which can, you know, do sustained push damage, which is what the old Lich Ice Armor was great against. This new one is like short burst damage. It's more ideal to defend with, but yeah, I don't think that Gambit can, like, because the mid lane matchup, OD doesn't really seem that particularly strong against Lone Druid either, so not only is it not that great against the mid lane situation, but late game, dealing with a Terrorblade, I don't really see it being that effective, but I haven't seen much OD since 7.20, so maybe they know something that I don't.
Maybe they do. I mean, he has been much more popular since the last few patches, as I think they did they buff the splash damage to Arcane Orb. He can now attack Ancients with it. It's pretty nice spell now.
Yeah, it's mainly Equilibrium that's been the big question mark for me, because the old Essence Aura was like, you basically had, if you had like 2k mana, then the understanding was that you would never run out of mana, no matter how many times you could cast Arcane Orb. And from what I've seen so far, Arcane Orb, being able to spam it is like not nearly as reliable as it used to be. But I don't know. We'll see how effectively AFO9 can use it.
We shall indeed, as they make their way up to this top rune end of the Terrorblade, not wanting to have anything to do with things, just sitting in the trees and waiting for the creeps to get there. I don't even think he's probably going to go and block, because he's going to be worried about them coming and making some aggressive movements. Which they should, you know. I always like to see them go and harass the heroes they attempt to block and whatnot. So yeah, so you have tag teams, because the enemies that are attacked under it take bonus physical damage.
Yeah, and then if you alt it,
allied
says
heroes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't seem like it's going to affect the Visage Birds.
Again, only if there's like some sort of exception with creep heroes, which I don't think there is. So, I mean, either way, it's still, like, I'm not surprised that he's taking it level 1. I don't really know how much he's going to be able to intimidate. Well, actually, yeah, I don't know how Empire is going to play these. It's like a Sand King and Lion in the bot lane. They're going to send Terrorblade and Lich at the top, which I guess makes sense.
Yep.
I don't think Lich is going to really be able to help Terrorblade at all too much, though. This offlane is so messy.
Yeah,
Coddle plus Beastmaster is just ruthless.
I think it's a bit too much, and already, look at this, they're just illuminating the creep wave and the heroes inside of it as well. I think they're just recognizing that Terrorblade's going to throw down this Metamorphosis really early, so you just push him under tower, keep the pressure on going really early, and don't stop, and you should get another double illuminate here. Look at that damage. That hurts.
Yeah, now he's gonna pull the creep wave also. This is the old times of Terrorblade. He would be crying for a poor man's shield right now, but he has relatively high armor, so it's not gonna be that big of a deal. But regardless, after this Metamorphosis times out, I can't imagine that Beastmaster and Coddle are gonna be continuing to play like this kind of ring around the rosy style. They're gonna go all in, make sure that he can't get any last hits.
Yeah, shut down this Terrorblade, force him to the jungle as early as possible. I mean, once he gets at level 3, we do see the Terrorblades most of the time just running straight to the jungle. And I reckon that's probably going to be the same this game, because once the Keeper of the Light and the Beastmaster hit level 3, I don't think there's any lane for the Terrorblade here.
Assuming he'll be able to do anything in the jungle, this Beastmaster's been consistently sending the Hawk over to the pole camp, making sure that it can't spawn, and even beyond that, he's going to be getting vision of this Terrorblade whenever he decides to transition into the jungle.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you've got Afaninja versus Mr. Kodos here on the Lone Druid. Now, this is a kind of classic counter, isn't it? Like, usually, back in the old days, when OD was that crazy hero, You used to see a lot of lone druids coming out in order to just shut down this outward devourer. Oh,
Wow.
courier.
Okay.
Miss micro there. Yeah, I know what he did there. It was a classic. You know when you want to select both your heroes? Yeah, you box select, you get the courier, and then you drive it into the enemy.
You gotta have those hotkeys.
Yeah. So old habits die hard, unfortunately.
Well, at least he got everything delivered, but he's gonna be short one Wraith Band. What a heartbreaker.
Oof. Yeah, you know how these carries like their Wraith Bands nowadays.
Do I?
Meanwhile, King R chasing down MYS Moon down in the bottom lane, just giving the... Not trying to let him near the lane at all, as the hack farms away, gets himself lots of creeps and lots of levels to get him closer to those familiars. I'm really interested to see how Gambit take this into the mid game. They clearly have a plan. You know, that OD pick was instant. They clearly know what they're doing with this Visage, but I can't really see it just yet. So I'm interested to find out. I'm well on board the Gambit roller coaster. I'm hoping for plenty of twists and turns.
It may be that Odie's like the anchor, and he's not necessarily part of their other 4-hero plan. They just wanted someone stable to dump in the mid lane, make sure that Lone Druid can't get out of control, and then after that, you know, he can transition into the mid to late game just as well as any other carry. But I'm more interested to see what this Coddle and Beastmaster, like, are they going to start moving around? Because if they do, then they leave the Terrorblade a little bit vulnerable as Vang score gets extremely low to Lich, who opts to get Frostblast at 1.
Yeah, Bloxox Angel just doing a ton of work there. Now turning around though, the Illuminate might connect here, which maybe is kill threat. Nope, there comes the Frost Shield. Lich held the level for a long time there and finally threw it out for the Frost Shield. I think that's really important though. If you hold this level in Sinister Gaze, sometimes, you know, Sinister Gaze is one of those spells where, like, in, I think, maybe like 80% of engagements, it's completely useless. Well, maybe not that far, but it's not very good.
Right.
But then in the 10% of the time or 20% of the time when it is useful, it's really good. You know, dragging them back in, the repositioning, it can be insane. But,
or, I mean, like a sleeper TP cancel if you really need it.
Yeah, absolutely. It has its uses, but overall, you know, I think Frost Shield is the more useful spell. We see it being spammed out most games.
And all things considered, Terrorblade isn't really getting that bullied. He's 22 last hits just like the other 2 cores in the game, so I don't know, like they keep doing this creep cutting thing, and I don't think it's entirely necessary. Old Al Keel? Is that, wait, you were calling him something else, weren't you?
Afterlife.
Afterlife, that's right. Okay, so Afterlife is getting a lot of farm, but I think he can get that even if they just lane normally. But they're continuing to do this creep cutting thing. I guess now maybe Vangscore has a point, and Blinding Light, maybe now they're a bit more willing to contest, but it seems like a waste of your potential to have such a good dual lane, and then do something that a bad dual lane would do, where you just steal the creep wave.
Meanwhile, Runes come out, and there's no real contest here. It's just Empire picking up 2. Beastmaster made a very half-hearted effort to try and bring down this Lich and get himself a kill. I mean, he's going to put the Shrine, but I'm fairly sure Vanscore and Afterlife are still just going to go for this one. Blinding Light use. He's making his way up to the Black Dragon, thinking they might get the kill, but no. Afterlife ready, cancelling that right click and gets the kill there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you have got the Lion trying to set up for something here, but he's not really too sure of himself as Aphro. He seems to know something's up. He's got the Observer Ward here anyways, so... Oh no, that's their Observer Ward. Yeah, he just knew.
No, he scanned him out. Go for it. Don't really know if he can get this kill.
Same circles on top of him, the right clicks. I mean, it's doing a lot of work, and he has got the Hex on the line. The miss up hill will help out as well. But Sayu's running out of options. He's trying to play around the trees. Can he get away? No, the banish is there. Afo will take this kill. And just popping that equilibrium before the astral imprisonment comes off as well. Meanwhile, Vanscore will deny himself to some creeps there. I think that was a pretty close one, as it looked like Dream was bringing him down quickly.
How much Dak also managed to get a solo kill, I think, on MYS Moon? I mean, Black was missing for a while, so I guess it's not too surprising, but still, being able to get a kill on a Sand King pre-Visage Familiars is pretty impressive.
That's interesting, but the hack, this is his favorite hero, for sure. I remember looking at his Dodo Bruff profile and being absolutely disgusted by the amount of Visage this guy's played. Meanwhile, Moon is sitting in the jungle here. I have to say, I feel like the Sand King's kind of the loser of the laning phase. Out of all the cores, he's got the least CS. He's kind of just been wandering around, maybe hitting some creeps here and there, trying to get involved, and now he dies to the Visage as well. It really doesn't feel good as a Sand King, who's supposed to be this big lane dominating hero in this battle.
I guess at the minimum he's kept Tusk busy. Tusk has not gone to the mid lane at all, and so I don't really know how effective a snowball gank could really be on a lone druid, but regardless, I haven't seen King R rotate anywhere quite yet, and so even though Moon isn't doing too great, he's keeping the bot lane occupied.
That's the important thing, though. You say that Snowball comes in, he doesn't have the Sandstorm for another 12 seconds. Tusk does not have the vision though, so he needs to get this kill quick. Otherwise, he can just Sandstorm and sit there. The Visage Familiar is going to help out as well, though, and King R's just doing it solo. And there's that second Sandstorm coming out. The stuns come out, but it doesn't matter. Okay, that's just got the courier.
On the courier.
Thank you, courier. And, well, Afo should finish this one off, though. Oh, no, King R's going to have to come around and do it himself. But it doesn't matter, they get the kill all the same.
So now I'm curious how Afo... Oh, wow. Tranquil Boots on the OD. Interesting.
OD? Ooh? Huh?
No, no, that was the thing. I learn more every day, I tell you.
I'm not sure it is a thing, I'm going to be real with you, but... no, it's amazing, because he can astral himself, and then he gets, like, the heal.
Brilliant.
Dude, so sick.
Assuming he didn't get touched 13 seconds prior. I definitely see that happening. Yeah, that's
very realistic scenario as he picks up the DD, but up at top, oh, sorry, down at bottom, they chase a lion under the tower, and at top they throw back the Sand King, and they actually use a shout. He just about gets the burst strike off, but it doesn't seem to matter. The shout comes out, the frost shield doing work. Is it doing enough though? Vanscore coming in with the right clicks, but he can't seem to do it. And now with the TP in, oh, the Sinister Gaze, come to me, Vanscore, as Kodos is making his way in, but unfortunately it was a long TP, meaning it's very difficult for him to find this kill. Though this Sand King's playing with fire. He's actually just gonna, ooh, he's salved up, and now Kodo's coming in from the side, really wants to find this entangle. The bear, it's not quick enough, and now they'll throw him back with the blinding light. Gambit playing, well, no, actually it was more MYS Moon playing on the edge there on that Sand King. This guy's pretty goofy.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, he wanted to go back in, he had a mango, but as soon as that salve got cancelled, he was like, okay, I have to back off. Otherwise, that's,
oh dear. He just tried to gank the Terrorblade, and basically just walked into him and his illusions and immediately died, so...
Yeah, and Visage was thinking about joining him, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
That's, that wasn't really a gank, that was something else. Oh well, we'll apply, you know, I think we've all done it before, you know, when you find the enemy carry farming and you're just like, alright, let's get him, boys, and then you forget that it's a Terrorblade. Yeah. Meanwhile, up at top, MYS Moon hunting for Vanscore. Looks pretty damn quick.
They're all gonna go Gambit.
They're ready for that one. Empire, you've got to be sharper than that if you want to be taking this gold advantage back. Meanwhile, the Hack sitting with this brown boots medallion of courage, very common build. We'll have this Helm of the Dominator out soon as well. And once you get the Helm of the Dom, you are the strongest hero on the map. I don't think there's any hero stronger unless they get some kind of insane farm start.
Yeah, strongest hero, strongest pusher as well, especially if he dominates siege creep. They're already trying to close in on the map, although there is a smoke gank up on Empire trying to go on the top.
They're coming in. They want to go for Vanscore here. This would be a great pick because they use that fear to get Vanscore away, start to use that blinding light, and now the Sinister Gaze holding in place doesn't get a single spell off, but it doesn't look like they're going to get anybody else. As Afterlife is well and truly out of there, so a smoke gank and a big rotation all for Vanscore. Meanwhile, Afo will take this middle tower, so all things considered, feeling pretty good for the Outward Devourer right now as he's picked himself up as Kaya. Oh, am I going to get to see a Kaya and Yasha finally? Been too many games. I think I saw one of the Sand King, weirdly.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't even a Dungeon Kaya, I don't know.
Top lane, Moon just barely TPs out after Aurora was used on him. But his tower will go down as well, and now all tier 1 towers have been claimed. Necrobook 2 will be up and running soon on Afterlife. Dominator is completed on Dahak. I don't think Empire are going to be able to get a foot in this game.
Yeah, Gambit are putting out quite a bit of pressure right now, and as you say, it's the laning phase needs to go well for Gambit. It went very well for Gambit, and Terrorblade's the only guy with any money right now, and he doesn't fight until it's like 25 minutes into this game.
Dire's top tower
They're gonna have to try it anyway. I mean, they've got the Dragon Lance on it. It might do something, but You know, the strategy kind of makes sense. You've got the Visage to hit heroes and towers. You've got the Beastmaster basically to hit towers and find pickles with the Roar. And then you've got Aphro just to run into the middle of things and hit people with his Arcane Orb and just basically be a big hero damage dealer. Also, this Equilibrium spell seems really strong now, by the way. Ooh, Afterlife? No? Okay. Alright. That's just your offlaner. It just gets mowed down by a Terrorblade.
It's your offlaner, but they didn't expect that Terrorblade to do that much damage. They dedicated 5 heroes up top under the impression that either there was going to be a full-on fight or Terrorblade was going to need more help. So again, it's another successful kill, much as how the Keeper of the Light was another previously successful kill, but it's such a incredibly heavy commitment that you almost wonder if it was really worth it.
Yeah, right. And also, you know, they're just going to wait. Metamorphosis, it's not up for much longer. You wait for this Metamorphosis, you go in again. How does a melee Terrorblade do anything against Gambit? Especially these heroes. Oh, they found MOS Moon. Now they get the shards off as well. Does to follow up. Sand King looking in trouble right now as he's being stunned up and held still. And Nafo Ninja comes in for the last hit. That's down goes the Sand King. And up to the top lane we go.
Metamorphosis is down for a good period of time. Beastmaster doesn't even need to return to the top. He knows that the lane is already pushed out. He will claim a different objective in the mid lane, which is the most dangerous lane to go to right now, so I don't think, yeah, he's not going to proceed much further. But instead they're going to go for Roche, and they've had the potential to Roche for a while, so this should be
yeah. Look at him go. This is without their OD. I mean, OD is now here, but, you know, it doesn't really do much to Roshan anyway.
Wait, shouldn't it work now? Isn't Roche considered an ancient unit? I don't know if it works. I haven't seen it yet, but in theory it should.
What if no one's tried?
What if no one's tried? I mean, he didn't have it on autocast because I was like, oh, that's weird that's not working, but he didn't have it on autocast, so the question still remains.
Will we ever know? Does chat know? Does anybody know?
Let's see the wiki. Maybe the wiki might know. Let me see. Quick
bit of mid-game research. Big. You want to hack?
Anything important happening?
Well, Gambit are running at Empire, but that's pretty much been the summary of the game so far. As they backs out to hack, trying to chase him down. The shards nearly catches him, not quite though. The birds though, the snowball up onto the high ground. This is a deep snowball. Now the Earth Spike to turn it around, keep those birds still. Even gets the Hawk in that as well. Not that he could see it. Blind Hawk execution. Doesn't quite get what's happening. Terrorblade. He gets the Sunder, yep. And now he's held still though. And they can actually just tear him apart. Sandy the Clips comes down and takes short work of Dream. Meanwhile, the Lamp doing its job, holding Lich in place. And now they can come in. The Illuminate sweeps through and finishes off Black Archangel as well as Gambit. Take 2 big kills and now can probably look for towers as well. And this is so scary for Empire as well. You lose anybody and your towers are going to be under a big threat. As Afternoon just TP's back, get these runes, get this money, and maybe get a Sand King as well if MIS Moon isn't careful, but he doesn't have vision on the OD, so can't get too carried away. Bottom tower is already gone though, mid tower will probably be under siege shortly.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised that Gambit didn't commit more heroes to the mid lane push. I don't know if the... Oh, okay, so Dahak, I guess, like, solo pushed the tier 2, and now they're all converging on mid. Because after you win a fight like that in a location like that, this lane is free, and Seiyu did not get the memo.
Yes, he very much being too far forward here. This part of the map is Gambit's, so I think most of the map is Gambit's right now. Terrorblade
all these
doing what he can.
It's in the jungle, like, that you don't own this part of the map anymore. Dream on the run away from Visage Familiars, 1 connects, 2 connects.
Familiars come stomping down. Now the snowball to follow up as well. They got Roar in 8 seconds. Dream is going to need a little bit more help if he wants to survive this one. The Frost Armor is just not going to do it now. Down goes Dream again. Meanwhile, Black Archangel running away from this one, but they don't really want him. They just want towers. They just want to take some buildings and get to the high ground right now as Gambit looking to take another tier 2 right now.
And normally whenever you have this high of an advantage, like every single tower at 16 minutes, it's typically pretty hard to push high ground. I don't see that being the case this game, because like I said during the draft, the creep clearing capabilities of Empire are pretty trash. So yeah, I'm perfectly okay with the runs for a siege like this.
And look at how far back Empire are placed here. They want nothing to do with this.
Yeah, because Afterlife didn't have to use Roar in that engagement. They were able to successfully kill Terrorblade without that. But now Terrorblade does have Metamorphosis and Sunder, so they're going to back off now that he respawns. And immediate smoke in the backlines, although they may have been spotted out by this ward.
Dire's top shrine is under attack.
Yeah, Radiant.
Gambit, full retreat. They don't want anything to do with this. I mean, they're going to send the Familiars to do a bit of damage to the shrine, but that's about it. It's the... Gambit
They
back
actually stayed
themselves
a
out.
little bit longer than I would have liked, but I guess they were like, hey, everyone suspiciously left their base. We should probably leave.
Yeah, suddenly we can't see anybody on those really deep wards we have.
Yeah.
Radiant are scanning.
Terrorblade queuing up with BKB next as well. I like this item build from him, I have to say. Like, it's very efficient, going for the 3 Wraith Bands, Dragon Lance, Yasha, you know, just staying purely for the stats efficiency items. He knows that he has to be this kind of 20-minute carry, basically, 15-minute carry.
The BKB is a contingency plan, but I'm glad he's going for it, as opposed to being like, it's okay, guys, I'll get my Manta Style, maybe I'll, you know, a Pike can help me.
Yeah.
The Pike will be my, like, mid-game stopgap item, and it never is.
Dire's top shrine
Pike is
under attack.
a Pike just is very underwhelming. There's so much gold investment for not much. Oh, they get the Hex out onto the Tusken with his double damage on Dream. They rip him apart. Now they're going to need to get out on everybody else as well. That could be in trouble, though. He can maybe bring down MYS Moon. Yes, he can, but the right clicks from Dream are just too damn heavy. This double damage rune is terrifying to play against, as they will lose 2 heroes on the side of Gambit and forced to TP out on everybody else. Meanwhile, the creeps are into the base. They're doing a bit of work, but yeah, not really anything to be worried about. Empire will have to get back and defend it, so no chance of a push here, although I say that. A Dream is just going to march and probably rip apart this tower. Is he going to go for it? I mean, there's a lot of TP points around here.
Yeah, I mean, he may feel a little bit confident because he has this ward scouting the cliff, but...
Exactly, but then there's the possibility of a smoke. I mean, these are probably the thoughts which came into his head over the course of like 2 seconds, and it's taking us, you know, we're just kind of working through them like, well... And
now it's over, but...
Yep.
Still, successful kills, very fortuitous double damage rune, being able to kill the Visage, who's, I mean, now less of a net worth than Terrorblade, so he's making progress, but it's still a long ways away. They haven't even claimed a single tower yet.
100% towers. That's a sign of a tough game. Tough game is MYS Moon. I mean, this Coddle seems really good versus Sankey, as we saw there. I was about to say, can just knock him out of the Sandstorm whenever he wants. Now they use the Roar as well. MYS Moon being made short work of. They even throw down the Will-O-Wisp there. That is huge commitment, but I guess they were worried about follow-up.
Yeah, I mean, Lion did just now finish a Blink Dagger, but really a Lion blinking in is not the biggest deal. So I'm surprised they go for the commitment. Because now I think that kind of slows down their push. I don't know if they should go for this push now. How far is Terrorblade? Terrorblade's still 500 gold away from his BKB. So maybe they can go for this. But it is a ballsy move.
Trying to wait. I think they leave these racks though. I think Empire, they just say, our BKB is more important than our mid-racks. Go. Like, you know, we'll be there shortly. And Terrorblade should be able to get it just about in time before they start on these mid-racks. But, I mean, top just goes down so damn quick. Gambit. They're feeling the momentum right now, and they take these bracks as they should. 30 minutes, you know, 20 minutes, sorry. They do need to be doing this. It's not like they're some kind of just walking over this map. This is what their heroes need to be doing, right?
Right. Bear goes in the bot lane, so resummon down for Kodos. But I imagine they're probably going to chill until the next Roche. It's potentially respawn in 1 minute. The Hawk is already parked over it. Really, the only way you lose this is if Terrorblade gets like a ultra kill in a team fight.
Can we call the RSPCA on Kodos for not buying his bad boots even?
Oh, is it called the RSPCA? We have the ASPCA. What is the R? Is it Royal?
You're asking too many questions there. I don't know. They protect animals. It's probably royal. Probably royal.
Okay, yeah, that would be my guess. And I would guess the A plus is American.
Seems likely.
But wait, is PETA a thing in European countries?
I mean, I know of PETA. Yeah, you could definitely use that one. But
does it have a presence, or do you just know it because of like pop culture?
I'm pretty sure I just know it because of pop culture.
Okay, fair enough.
Can't say I've seen any PETA stuff around in the UK at least. Popular name though.
These are just very nice animals, I suppose.
I wish. Well, seems to be a little bit of a lapse in the action here. I think this is Gambit waiting for Roshan to spawn, and with this BKB picked up on the Terrorblade, which I'm sure they are aware of, they realize that this could be a good fight for Empire if they don't play their cards right. So playing it carefully, playing cautiously, they take one lane of Rex, don't give away their gold advantage by losing a silly fight into a BKB Terrorblade. They've seen how much this guy can do. With that double damage rune admittedly, he still did a lot. Uh-oh. Keep it the light. Could be going down. Here's the first 50 damage from Sayu. Get him,
Oh. I respect it.
That's disappointing. I do not.
Much as though he's going to be holding onto the finger, I imagine that the Beastmaster, upon seeing this Terrorblade BKB, is no longer going to start primal roaring anyone else other than the Terrorblade.
Yeah.
So it's a game of cat and mouse now. If Dream manages to get a Sunder off, I would be amazed, because it's going to be hard as hell.
Yeah. They're a team made for kiting, more or less. But it's now a bit of push. Empire going for their first tower of the game. Can they pull it off? No.
Gambit are pissed. This is a late-ass Roche, and they're like, I can't believe they're getting so much done on the map. We should be taking Roche and their other Raxes by now, but...
Between this and the double damage rune, the Roche respawn and the double damage rune, Gambit are kind of getting ruined here by old RNGesus. And yeah, Empire going for the wraparound here. I love this play, actually. This is huge. They're going for Afpo, the the epicenter blink in, and now the Lantho doing a lot, but the BKB on the Terrorblade. Now the Roar comes out. King R somehow still alive, and Afro and Jay not even close to them. But now they turn around, and King R will be dropping very quickly there. The Dream getting out so much damage. Afro needs to get away, but he turns around with the Sanity's Eclipse, but it doesn't do a damn thing. The Terrorblade is absolutely fine as the banishment comes out, and away they go. But now they turn around to Hack, trying to fight it off, and they will bring him down. The big boy is dead, and MYS Moon being destroyed by Necron units, and Kodo's probably going to be dropped here as well as Afro attack from the high ground. They get the kills. 4 heroes down the side of Empire, and now Gambit can look for Roshan, or maybe even the game if they want to. Get some buybacks out.
Yeah, I think they go for structures first, because they know that BKB and Metamorphosis is going to be down for a while. It did cost a Tusk buyback, but the fact that OD was able to survive despite not defensively astraling, like as soon as the smoke popped and he saw Sand King channeling Epicenter, he actually like turned around instead of instantly casting Astral, but it ended up working out. He survived. And Terrorblade did successfully get a Sunder off, but I think I used the word successfully very loosely though.
Yeah.
He casted the spell and he got HP out of it. He did not win the fight though.
No, it didn't really matter. And down go those middle barracks, not a single buyback used, and they're going to go for the Megas right now and force Empire into another fight, which they do not want to do. I mean, they now have the BKB, but they've got the Metamorphosis. They don't have the Metamorphosis. We've already talked about how important that is for them to have, although the Burrow Strike's fairly nice. Into 2, followed up with Chain Frost as well, but does get dragged away by Affin and Jay. Now the Hack comes back, they'll hex him up and drag it down to the Blinding Light, does so much work. Now the Roar comes in onto the high ground, onto Kodos, keeping him still. He just picked up a BKB, but most of it's going to go to waste. Meanwhile, Vanskool firing out the Illuminate onto the high ground, actually gets the ball with it. The bear, sorry. Or bear, there's a lot of animals.
You never know.
Yeah, true. I might have been right, but Empire, they hold. It's not the most convincing hold I've ever seen, but they do.
Everything that Gambit were able to achieve just now was just gravy. The fact that they were able to do that much and not have to go for Roche is just like a bonus of winning the previous team fight near their Ancients. Like they could have played it safe and just gone for Roche, but they were like, we can take a Rax, and then they're like, maybe we can take a second Rax. Terrorblade comes up, they get a 2-man Burrow Strike, and they're like, alright, never mind. I'm glad that Gambit built defensively though, because a lot of times whenever a team gets such an immense lead like this, they're like, oh sweet, let's all build Blink Daggers, let's all get like damage-oriented stuff, let's get Dagons and whatnot, or Midases, but here there was a Force Staff to save, I think the Visage got Astraled, and the Tusk got, or no, the Beastmaster got forced back, and Glimmer Caped. And so, I'm glad that they itemized like this as opposed to going balls deep on damage.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of like, you know, this Terrorblade would be melting through them even quicker if that wasn't the case. He does a lot. Oh dear. Dead.
He gets 50.
First finger. 50 damage up. MYS Moon roared up on the backline, so the Familiar is not enough to finish him off, though he does have the Soul Assumption, will use it and finish the job. But Dream doing a lot of work just to force back Gambit, but they need to take a fight here. I feel like Empire need to have a bit of urgency right now. They've popped this Metamorphosis. The Aegis is up on Gambit. Whether you like it or not, you need to fight right now, because otherwise your Metamorphosis is going to run out, and then you're fighting without it, and that is not going to happen. That's not going to work.
And
Empire actually
wish buyback for basically no reason.
Oof. This is... I mean, I reckon this game may well just be over right now. I mean, Gambit happily to run high ground right now. They've got the Scythe of Vice. The BKB wasn't used, but the Metamorphosis was, and that's the important one. How do they defend this?
Dire's bottom tower is
Coddle isn't there. I don't, again, really know how value Will-O-Wisp is, but Blinding Light is pretty useful. And that's why Lone Druid built his BKB. He's like, I can't right-click anyone right now. But yeah, looks like they don't need him to push this to get night creeps.
Alright, Empire, well, they grit their teeth, and they're gonna take the hard way out.
Again.
Oh, they're going on to this. Coddle getting rapid in from behind. Coddle will die, but maybe they can get the return kill. I mean, Dream is the one in the middle of all of this. He's looking to be in trouble. He's stunned up by this minute. Can't get CKB off, and now in comes the stuff. They punch him up, but he gets the thunder. King R's dead. Now Dream can look for more as he's in the melee form for finding kills, but Apo, he's the scary one. The BKB is popped from Dream, but the Sanities comes down, and Apo Ninja cleans up house. Can he get the Rampage? MYS Moon, he's dead. Gambit will take the game in a spectacular Rampage fashion. I mean, the OD was just untouched in that, and the moment he saw anybody, they just got melted. Good lord, that was a thorough spanking for poor old Empire there.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team Dire team ban.
All right, let's get to it. Game 2. Hello, welcome back to the Bucharest minus CIS playoffs for the qualifiers. My name is Noah and I'm here with Mr. Tsunami, and this is Gambit Esports versus Team Empire Hope, game number 2. Tsunami, can you give us a brief rundown of what happened last game?
I believe there was basically one from the very first pick of Empire going into Lone Druid into a Coddle. They were like, oh great, we're completely boned now because I can't believe freaking Lone Druid had to build a BKB. Terrorblade wasn't able to get a lane because he was laning against a Coddle and Beastmaster, and supports of Empire were just completely outclassed. I'm convinced Coddle is a hero. I was skeptical at first. Coddle is a hero.
Coddle is a hero. You heard it here first, folks. I think GH showed us all why Coddle was a hero in the
very true.
In the other qualifiers. But that was then. This is now, and other heroes. I don't think you can. GH doesn't really count. When he plays a hero, it doesn't make the hero a hero. It just means GH is doing GH things. But anyway, have we got any predictions for this game? How did Team Empire recover from that? Because that was a hard hit. Like they got dismantled. Like it didn't feel like they were. I mean, it was kind of like a tiger enters a boxing ring with a small child. It didn't feel good.
I love Gladiator. It's one of my favorite movies. Except Russell Crowe was not a small child, but even then, I don't know if he was able to handle the tigers as well. For one thing, I want Empire to at least pick a more synergistic approach with their supports, because I think they were like, oh man, Lich is a great hero. Let's pick Lich. Wait, Lion's also a great hero. But independently, those heroes are great. In the scope of a team, it didn't really seem like it was offering anything. Lich's Frost Shield was basically irrelevant. I guess maybe it may have saved Terrorblade from like one gank, but that's it. And Lion did not really do anything at any point in the game.
That's not true. He got one finger off.
He got one finger off. He got 50 damage in like the last 5 minutes of the game.
5 seconds.
I think you need to do a little bit more than that for me to be considering it to be a viable pick.
Yeah, it was a very slow draft from Team Empire Hope, and not just from the heroes, their cores, but also from the heroes they had as like their supports. Okay, he's decent in the laning phase, but then he has this kind of dip where he feels very underwhelming for a bit, and then he comes back in that mid game when he gets like a couple of items, like Blink and Aether, and he's suddenly like really strong as a support. But yeah, we definitely felt his weakness in that game.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, like the dude managed to complete a 19-minute blink, so it seemed like, again, more in the context of the fact that he couldn't do anything with his team. The hero himself is like extremely viable, but it didn't really seem like Empire had a good strategy. They're like, oh, Lone Druid, he's great, or he's consistent. I don't know if he's great, but Lone Druid's a consistent hero, let's pick that. And then they pick their supports, and then at the very end they're like, let's get a hard carry, let's get Terrorblade. And then Gambit, I mean, they were just immediately with the OD response pick, so I think Empire need to have like a real strategy in mind. And Beastmaster lends itself to a strategy. You have potential for a strong dual lane, even though you're not going to get the Coddle, and you also have the potential for a real legitimate push strat.
Yep, so let's see if Team Empire can put it back in the same way that Gambit dished it out. However, we now have a Coddle and a Naga Siren on top of one of each other. Now, these two heroes with some big team fight control, and Naga has been this kind of foe. We've seen her a couple of times, pretty much exclusively a carry now due to the changes to Riptide. It's now a proc rather than an actual spell, and it helps her farm pretty damn quick. A little bit worse when it comes to actually being in lane and such. It can be tricky to rely on it, but definitely when you're farming up, it is way better.
Yeah, and I've been told she's basically like one of the best, which seems baffling to me. The interpretation I have of Naga Siren is if she's 1v anything, if she's ever in the face of a carry, you've already messed up as Naga Siren. She should be miles away, farming away, making sure that all her illusions are doing her bidding, but that's apparently the old paradigm for Naga Siren. Now you, like you said, with the proc chance, armor reduction on the Riptide, you just cut people open with you and all your illusions right-clicking the same target.
Yeah, it's pretty weird to watch. I'm sure we'll see it this time, but the swarm of Nagas coming in and then just kind of like riptiding you to death is kind of interesting. Team Empire Hope, they're going to go for the Rubik though. I can respect that pick a lot as well. You've already got the Kotl. Pretty much any of his moves are really valuable for the Rubik to steal. Then the Naga Siren as well. You know, if you can grab Song, then that counter initiation is so damn good, but it is a tricky one to get because obviously Naga has the entirety of the Song to throw out a mirror image or maybe even a net when it ends. So tricky job for the Rubik, but I mean, either way, it's a good Rubik game. Regardless. Also, I like the instant lift as well. Can be really good versus the Kotl in terms of catching him out before he blasts you with blinding light. And in general, I think Rubik's just a good hero right now.
He's a good hero right now, but I think it's the exact same issue as what I had last game, which is, yes, he is a good hero. How do you make him work in this draft, though? I mean, they have plenty of time to figure it out, but just planting the seed, because this is looking very reminiscent of the Game 1 draft where Gambit looked like they have like Kotl and Naga Siren. That seems like a coordinated strategy to push and be able to... I don't know, Will-O-Wisp plus Sleep synergy, but it seems like it would be pretty synergistic. So I'm liking the opening 2 picks of Gambit more than I am of Empire Hope, but maybe they can legitimize this Rubik pick.
Do you know the big play though with Naga and Keeper?
Let's hear it.
What the Naga does is she times her Song perfectly, so that she uses it in between the pulses of the Kotl ulti, so you get like a full 3 seconds of hard lockdown.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty next level strats, but we'll see if they pull it out.
I mean, normally whenever anyone starts something with you have to time, then immediately I lose interest because that's never gonna happen. Much as how once upon a time people thought you could time Ravage plus Song. And I think we very famously saw that it's not easy to do.
Oh man, we got the setup already. Rubik's in the game versus Naga in a tide.
Where's the Darkseer?
Dude, get him.
Have you been seeing any Darkseer? Is he any good right now? Or is he only good with Spirit Breaker?
Yeah, pretty much. He's just Spirit Breaker's best BFF. Like, other than that, he's not super common. We're gonna see the Lich instead. All right, okay. I like this guy. Gambit being a bit experimental in this game, maybe.
Which of the picks? Is the Tidehunter or the Naga that makes you think it's experimental?
I mean, both. Like, I haven't seen either of these two heroes commonly, but I definitely feel like they both have potential.
Yeah, I think I saw Tidehunter being picked in one of the EU qualifier games going on right now, and nothing seems to have substantially changed. A lot of people were like, oh, sweet, you go, like, Crystallis on Tidehunter, you go Echo Saber on Tidehunter, or something like that. Most people are still sticking with the delay the blink until later on. You can either get like a Dominator first item or a Greaves or at least a mech early on, and then later on you can get the blink if you absolutely need it. But it seems to be the same old Tidehunter. I guess he's just a little bit better now that he can farm a little bit faster. The trade-off is that Anchor Smash doesn't go through spell immunity anymore, and so I guess he's slightly worse against spell immune targets, but so far no one on Empire Hope is a BKB builder, so I'm curious. I mean, maybe it's just all teamfight. Tidehunter is the most memorable teamfight hero of all time, so you got Will-O-Wisp, you got Sleep, and that's more than enough setup I can hope for a Ravage.
Yeah, if you can't land a decent Ravage this game, there is no hope for this Tide. I think Enigma would like to have words with you about your last statement, though.
It's true. Which I would be okay with seeing in Enigma also. I've seen some support Tidehunter, not necessarily in 7.20, but I think it has potential.
Kotl, Naga, Tide, Enigma, aka don't team fight us.
And then you just pick Silencer for Empire Hope. Easy game.
Right out. But a bit of single target lockdown would be pretty nice for Gambit right now. I mean, they've got that net, but obviously it's not really a stun of such. And there you go. There's your Lion coming out. You got a ground spike, you got a Hex, 2-in-1. He's a package deal, Mr. Lion. And you got that hot bod to go in your team as well.
So you're giving me so much logic for Gambit, and then whenever we go to Empire, you're like, yeah, Lich is a good hero, Rubik's a good hero. I agree. These are good heroes, but what does it mean? What is the big picture here?
10 seconds.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's a lot of questions, but I mean, Rubik's already got like some fantastic steals this game, but together, yeah, I mean, we don't really have the cores yet, so it's hard to kind of piece together the picture. And now we have a Slark coming out. That seems pretty good. Okay, so you can purge off obviously everything now. A hero which is happy to just sit and whack away at this watermelon, you know. Tide doesn't really like laning against Slark, because Slark just levels up Essence Shift and what Tide usually does, aka sit in the creeps, anchor smash, force the Tide back, force the enemy carry to not be near the creeps. Slark doesn't care about that because he's just gonna Essence Shift his way back up to the damage anyway. So I think it's good in lane. In terms of with lane partners, Sinister Gaze can be nice for getting him that the attack off to get the Essence Shift up, but more importantly, the Frost Shield in combination with the Leap, really nice in kind of getting that initiation. And also Slark, one of his biggest problems is you never know when you need to throw down that ultimate. You know, people use that ultimate too early is one of the biggest problems in almost every Slark player. It's very difficult to know when you want to throw it out. The best Slark players know how long to hold it for before you use that Shadow Dance. And with the Lich's Shield, it gives you a nice easy timer. That's just, you know, the moment that thing runs out, or, you know, the moment you start dropping too low on HP, it gives you that easy out. I think it's a pretty good Slark game, but there is also a lot of lockdown. Like, you can Dark Pact off, yeah, you can Dark Pact off a Ground Spike, maybe a Hex, you know, maybe even the Ravage, but then you've also got a Song, you've also got the Lamp, you've also got Net coming out. It's a lot for the Slark to work through. And I kind of feel like he's going to need a BKB, which feels pretty damn awful.
Yeah, you said that the best Slark players would know when to Shadow Dance, but even an open AI Slark would not really be able to like weave through all of this ground targeted disable. Like, Tidehunter can Ravage at any point. It doesn't even matter after you cast Shadow Dance. You're gonna get stunned. Lion, like you said, ground targeted Spike. Naga can Song as soon as you go into the Shadow Dance, or as soon as you Dark Pact. Like, if you Dark Pact, Naga goes for Song. You can't purge off the sleep as long as you're still in the AoE. You'll go immediately back to sleep, and then Lion gets all the time in the world to get full Hex now that he knows that Dark Pact is spent. And then, like you said, Coddle with the Will-O-Wisp, another ground-targeted disable, and ground-targeted damage as well. And ground-targeted mischance, so Blinding Light and Illuminate are both so difficult. He has so many things he needs to purge off, and he only has one Dark Pact, so yeah, I think he is going to have to go BKB. If you're picking Slark and you have to be like, okay, cool, I pick Slark, first item BKB, I think you have issues.
True. I'm still waiting to see the game where we see a Slark pick up a Solar Crest. I'm convinced it's good, but no one believes me. I mean,
just because you can defensively purge it off or whatever.
Yeah, you can defensively purge it off, and also gives him movement speed, which means that, you know, you don't necessarily have to buy the Shadow Blade. I mean, it's kind of like a replacement. You can just kind of fight with your team and be a classical team fighter and jump in with the with a Soul Crest and then use that speed to track your enemies down. You don't have to rely on the leash either, which is really nice for using it for TP cancels, but you can already tell I've thought about this way too much and played it way too much.
And had a successful or unsuccessful time with this?
Yeah, pretty successful, but I mean,
okay.
It's kind of like, well, like mid 4K matchmaking, because I'm like high 3K and all my friends are like 5K. So.
Over there, invisibility is immunity, so
exactly
for a non-Shadow Blade build, that's pretty ballsy.
Oh, I get flamed a lot, but that's just general. Like, I get flamed. I'm really thinking of streaming my pub game just because like the amount people get angry at me. Because I mean, there was one game where I went Sniper Radiance. That was a lot of fun. I'm still convinced it's not good, but it's kind of interesting because with take aim and the ridiculous range, it means you can kind of like start, you know, you kind of move through the jungle and then use the Radiance to like attack other camps whilst you're still attacking the same camp. You kind of orb walk around the place, and there is efficiency to be had there, to be sure.
Are the jungle camps like super far apart now? How are you even
burning
a camp and taking another one at the same time?
Oh, this was in the old patch. This was
okay.
7.19 days. Yeah. The real reason I did that was because I was watching Dota and my friends were like, I told my friends I was going to play, and I was like, crap, I just want to watch this game. So this went Radiant Sniper. I think it went Midas Radiant Sniper with a cooldown talent.
A different hero.
I don't remember the exact circumstances, but yeah, they don't play with me anymore. I don't know why.
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, we have 2 more heroes coming out as they pick up the Arc Warden on the side of Team Empire. Hope and Gambit round off their draft with this Pugna, which I've been waiting for them to play all day because they love this hero.
And this is a fantastic situation to put it. So we talked about how Slark had so much defensive stuff that he had to purge off. He has no way to deal with Decrepify whatsoever. And so I don't know. The Slark is going to have like an immense struggle, an immense mountain to climb, and I don't really know how he's going to do it. And Arc Warden isn't going to buy him any time. Arc Warden's going to be like, "Do you make space for me? I don't care about what your problems are. I have stuff I need to farm. I need to not participate in anything."
I mean, there's potential if this Slark has a fantastic, like, AAA free farm laning phase where he gets a bunch of kills as well, where he can kind of just snowball the game, but even then, I don't see it being likely. I'm struggling to see what Team Empire are trying to put together here, but maybe all will become apparent, and all hope is not lost. I mean, there's definitely potential, and with that Arc Warden, we've always seen what these Arc Wardens can do if left unchecked, so we'll see as we head into game number 2.
I'm starting to suspect that Black Archangel just does not know how to play any other hero other than Lich, because like I'm glancing through the heroes and I'm like, okay, well maybe like this Lich is, has some sort of specific strategy, maybe with Sinister Gaze or something like that. They just give him Lich like every single game, and I don't think Lich is like a hero that you can do that. He's a really good hero, but I don't think that he enhances any of the strategies that Empire is trying to run. Like they're not really taking advantage of offensive Frost Shield. I guess now with Slark they can kind of take advantage of offensive Frost Shield, but I don't even know how many chances they're going to be able to be offensive in this lane. So right now Gambit are sending the Lion, the Caudal, and the Pugna up top, and I mainly just want Pugna against Lich. As long as Pugna is laning against Slark, then I think life is good for Gambit, and Lich is going to be utterly useless.
30 seconds to battle.
Why is the Lich useless versus the Pugna?
I didn't mean Lich, I meant Slark specifically. Okay. But good question, because I meant as long as the Pugna's laning against Slark, then there's nothing that a Lich can do to help, and Slark cannot have a good laning phase if he's laning against a Pugna, because the Decrepify is just going to make it impossible for him to get anything done. No last hits, no harass, really nothing.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. They will have to somehow find a way to lane this Slark versus this Tide. I mean, that basically seems to be the entire idea, and they are actually walking him down, so this could be the information they need to make this work. But the Tide, is he moving? Or is he blocking? He's blocking. Okay, so this could work. This could still work. The hope for Empire is still alive. For Empire
it's a good initial read, but I think Gambit are more than willing to send probably the Lion down bot. They'll hold on to Pugna's TP scroll, I think. Man, they're really playing it close to the chest right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if Slark also doesn't have a lane, I think Gambit is still happy with
why are they going back? Why are they going back? There we go.
They're waiting for someone to TP, but no one's going to move until they see Slark show up into a lane.
They just spent like 2 minutes just sitting in this circle, not sure what to do. And this means Slark's going to miss out on our entire lane of CS.
Rubik's keeping it warm.
Actually, yeah, no, they pushed down the tower, so that's actually really good. It means that Slark can come back in time, and we'll get himself some precious money, so to say. We'll take a bit of lane tax there for him. And now, Tide already starting things out at level 2, though.
And they actually send the Caudal, not the Lion, so Vank score's going to come down bot. I guess that's fine. Blinding Light is equally irritating. As much as the Decrepify, so he's actually going to illuminate. Okay.
Yeah, they're going pretty far forward. Jay's in trouble here with the Frost Shield slowing him down. The right clicks as well from MF Moon. In comes the Decrepify, but it's not enough to keep him alive. The Frost Blast comes in to finish the job of Black Archangel. Will draw first blood onto the Pugna. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, it's actually the Naga mid, which is something we didn't really comment on a whole lot, as I kind of just assumed the Pugna would be there, but mixing things up, and Naga versus Arc Warden. So, Tsunami, how does this matchup go?
Classic, vintage mid lane matchup. You used to see it all the time. I guess it's not that bad. Dahak, or at least for Naga Siren, it's not that bad, because Mirror Image can purge off Flux, and that's usually the biggest issue for people who aren't familiar with laning against an Arc Warden. It's like, how does my hero deal with Flux? Well, Naga Siren has no issues with it. I don't even think he's casted this a single time, he's just holding on to it.
And you can just throw the illusions then into the Spark Race as well, so this is actually
exactly
pretty good. Well thought through from Gambit. Might have
so I don't
practiced.
imagine that's much of an issue, but they're still not sending this Pugna down bot, and Tide is taking a bit of abuse.
Tide, yeah. This is he's got no way out of this, does he? Oh, he's got mangoes to maybe slow people down. The Illuminate helps out as well. Salve you, so will cancel. He really wants this kill on the river. He's got the Fade Bolt, but it's not enough damage. Even with the right click, it's not enough to crack open the watermelon.
I don't even have Kraken Shell. Wow.
He's just a big boy.
Big boy.
29 strength, 830 HP, and 4 armor under the tower because he was under the tower, so it'll just be 3 armor. Was it 2 armor the first tower gives you? I can't remember. I think they changed it recently.
Oh, they don't give you any armor anymore. Oh no, it's the other way around. You don't give the tower anymore.
It gives you 2 armor. Gotcha. Advanced skill? Okay. Well, a man on a horse is not as tanky as whatever Tide is.
Oh man, and he had Essence Shift skill, so he gets permanent Essence Shift already 3 minutes in the game. Hell yeah.
That extra agi feels good.
Amazing. Look at Fang's score. Look at that -1 next to his agi. What a fool.
Can we get the cuddle to 0 agi? Tiny cuddle. That's a dream. So Dream should have a pretty good lane and a pretty good game, to be honest, but will it be good enough?
Yeah, I'm guessing the Gambit were just like, okay, we didn't, or they outsmarted us with the lane, but our Pugna's doing fine, so we'll just let him deal with Slark in the mid to late game rather than dealing with him in the laning phase. Because Apple9, despite that early death, I mean, there's not much that this Beastmaster can do to stop him. Decrepify is just too irritating for anyone to really deal with.
Say what you want about Black Archangel on this Lich. I do love it that every time he dies in a weird way or anything like that, he always spams out the voice line, you can't kill death. Such a dumb voice line to have, because you can spam when you died and then makes no sense. Meanwhile, they get the Brood out onto the Arc Warden in the middle, and it's King Arth getting his gank on right now and chasing down Kodos under the tower. Doesn't look like he's going to survive, though, with the Fairy Fire. Definitely going to survive. Yeah.
Oh, he didn't cut the right tree.
Oh,
he just needs one proc.
No.
One proc. Yeah, one proc.
Riptide!
Oh,
Riptide,
no.
it comes in, is it enough? Oh, he's just about going to live. Kodos playing it close to the line, buddy. And no line wrapping around for the finish up on this, so Arc Warden will live to flux another day.
Fighting over this room.
Yeah, and West Moon though is going to get hexed up, and now the Decrepify, the damage is enough. Sorry, Nether Blast. Meanwhile, Lich packs himself away and picks up the rune, the Consolation rune. Meanwhile, it's actually two apiece, I think. No, actually, it's 3 to Empire. 3 to Empire. Look at the value of this shrine. Oh my god. Very nice to watch as all 3 heroes get up to max, almost making full value, each of them, from that shrine.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, that helps Arc Warden quite a bit, because he had actually burned a salve trying to not die to that illusion, which worked, but then he couldn't come back to the lane because he was like, I have no HP. But still, this mid lane is like mostly a wash. Naga Siren has like a significant lead, but I don't think Arc Warden really dominates that many mid lane matchups, even whenever it's like a not heavily countered matchup like we mentioned with all the mirror image and whatnot stuff. So I'm not really too concerned about Arc Warden falling behind right now.
Sure. It's kind of like some really good Arc Wardens. Like I think I've seen Artesian Thompson completely like dominate people in the mid lane, but excluding those guys, it doesn't happen often. Meanwhile, Slark just getting to work on the Tide, purging off that Anchor Smash, and getting himself some Agi, sweet Agi. But the Coddle's coming into this one. But we'll actually just connect on Dream there. But Sayu's got a haste rune. He's just going to come in and start doing some damage here. Not even... No, they're going to go for this Tide now. They're a bit scared of the Illuminate. And Slark doesn't have his level 6 just yet, so he's not going to get his health back, but he has got 2 more tangos to go. And we'll need to keep sort of trying evading these Coddle Blasts as they come in. It's going to land on both. Oh no, it only catches the Slark. Not full value, but still pretty damn nice.
The skill build from Fangscore is so weird. I'm surprised that he didn't go for Blinding Light, because I would think that between Anchor Smash and Blinding Light, there would be too much stuff for Slark to worry about Dark Pacting, especially since the mana cost on Dark Pact got nerfed. So him going for this Illuminate build, yeah, it's forcing Slark to get more and more regen, but he's still being able to stay in experience range, he's still getting last hits. He is slightly falling behind the Tide as Kodos does fall in the mid lane to another Lion gank. But I don't know, it's surprising to me that Vangscore is building like this.
Meanwhile, they find the Coddle behind the lines. Dream doing a lot of damage to this guy, and can they bring him down? Vanscore is dead, but Dream needs to get himself away from the Tidehunter, who needs one more creep before he hits level 6. He does get it, but it's just too late. Imagine if he got that a second earlier, could just Arcane Boots up and Ravaged, and Slug would die, but unfortunately, they weren't patient enough. Well, actually, it was the Empire initiating on them, so they will be left with nothing. Meanwhile, up in this top lane, which we haven't talked about so much, there has been a fair amount of action happening up here, though, as the Pugna lanes up versus the Beastmaster and the Lich in this lane. Seems to be Beastmaster favored, as expected, but as well as the Lich is currently... I'm not really sure what he's doing, to be honest with you. He's walked down to bottom. He's got no mana, though, so...
I think he saw how much Lion was moving around. He's like, damn, maybe I should be trying to help out on the lane also. Because Beastmaster is doing really well, but that's because Lion has basically been migrating mid and successful. The first gank wasn't entirely successful, but it still wasted a lot of Arc Warden's time, and then the second gank was successful, so Lion's getting work done. Pugna is taking the sacrifice as a result, but he's still doing fine. He's 400 gold behind the Beastmaster. I would say that Pugna's relatively pleased with how this lane has gone so far.
He's sitting pretty happy, and he's probably going to go for this, what's it called? Veil of Discord, that's the one. And yeah, it feels like a super value game for it, just because you've got a ton of damage, magic damage in the form of Lion and Kotl and Tide, so...
Tide's trying to get some magic damage done, has the Ravage. Didn't wait too long, a Hawk did spot him out, so he's like, alright, whatever, we'll just push this.
Let's do this. Meanwhile, Moon going to throw some axes and get himself away. The King Ol does want to connect here, but can't find the range for his spells, so Moon will be fine. Meanwhile, Vanscore left to defend bottom by himself. I'm actually surprised that they're not trying to go on him here, but I guess they just want to find the Slug. He's got his 6 now, so yeah. Pretty interested they're not just trying to curse Coddle on the tower. I feel like they could, but I guess the TPs are always scary. Especially now Tide has this Ravage as well.
Yeah, I don't know if they know if Tide walked up to top or TP'd top, so if Tide TP's down at the bot lane, that could be a disaster. He did TP, and his TP's down for like quite a while, so Dream and Seiyu are kind of outsmarting themselves here. They'll get the kill, but it's a little bit more effort than it should.
Or that's not the leap you want.
Maybe they won't get... He has Blinding Light now, and he just used Dirge Pack.
Oh dear, that's not the Shadow Dance you want. Meanwhile, the Arc Ward, no, sorry, the Lion is TPing in, but it's too late for Vanscore. He's gone. He's gone. I couldn't see what that was because of the damn cosmetic. It's a very silly cosmetic.
Well, at least Shadow Dance is down now, and the Lion down top lane still hasn't been successfully pushed.
Oh,
it's sucking.
Beastmaster, yep.
That's not
taking a ton of damage there, but it's okay. And now actually it's a Frost Blast in, and now the Gaze. Come here, sir. He's going to get you in, but the Ravage comes in from behind, of course, only onto the Arc Warden Illusion, but does get MYS Moon, and FNJ dies quickly afterwards, and Afterlife struggling to run down the Lich here. He actually pops a Chain Frost, but finds the Coddle of all people. There's a bit of a journey, but all the same, Black Archangel will survive. Meanwhile, at mid, they're going forwards here onto the hack. Can they get it? No, the song is out. And now the ultimate comes down, TP away from 4 heroes. That is a very valuable ultimate from the Nagasara, pretty unreal she was able to get that off. Bit of a blunder there from actually Empire, I would say. Rotating in 4 heroes in order to not get the kill. It's not good.
Yeah, they don't have enough Disable to stop her from doing that. It's even moving forward, it's basically going to be Primal Roar and Telekinesis. I would almost want Kodos to itemize maybe Bloodthorn, or at least the ultimate earlier on. He's going for the Maelstrom, which everyone goes for. I'm glad he's not going for the Midas, though. That's something that I was not a fan of in 7.19, and now that Wraith Bands are so incredibly valued, it doesn't surprise me that he's not going for that build now. It's just, it makes too much sense to have a second unit with all this Wraith Band agi. Might as well just forget the Midas and worry more about building damage just based off of mid-game items.
Yeah, I mean, the previous Arc Wardens we've seen today have all gone for the level 1 Necro Book into a Midas. To me it sounds weird, but apparently it's the norm right now. Meanwhile, playing around the Shrine on Empire. I mean, they don't have this Ravage on Gambit, so I'm surprised they're showing this aggression, but I have to say, Game 2 looking much more even. I mean, there's still a Gambit advantage, and they're looking pretty good on the backs of this Nagasara. We'll throw it over to Net Worth and see her well and truly on top. Meanwhile, the Spark limping behind a bit. He needs to find something in this game now. He's going for this Shadow Blade build.
Oh yeah, as opposed to the Solar Crest
I know,
build.
I know, Nomad cries. One day. My dream will be kept alive.
Did not appreciate the tone of your voice there. This Shadow Blade, but what the hell's up with this Shadow Blade, Bill?
What a scrub. What an idiot. What's he going for this dumb item for?
Yeah, he has a lot on his shoulders. Like,
King R was like half a millisecond away from casting Finger of Death on Illusion there. He like cooked that bad boy up. It's like, wait. That was nearly a really good bait out from the Rubik actually. He had mirror image, so we're sending them in like one at a time. Now he gives up.
Lions are like 50 damage for a Rubik kill? Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, he's into it. Despite being like one hit away from death as well. Like, no. Get me
Slark
that
is on the
damage.
prowl for this Coddle, but he gets juked out by Blinding Light.
Huge, as called in the draft actually, by some very intelligent man. King R setting up for this one. Vanscore and King R, they think they can do it. They think they can get him. I don't think they can though. No, they're backing out actually. Just defensive. Wasting his time. Playing around a bit.
It's working out right now, even though Slark's not getting any kills. The important thing is that Arc Warden isn't being put under any pressure, and that's Slark's job this game. Even though usually Slark is the one who likes having room at 13 minutes. If he hasn't completed the Shadow Blade, right now it's more important for him to make space for the Arc Warden. So he's not getting kills, but he's keeping Lion busy. He hasn't used his finger a single time yet. Coddle isn't the once formidable free-forming force that he used to be. It used to be like, oh god, we're leaving Coddle alone, he's gonna get the Acronym Scepter. Now, if you leave Coddle alone, who really cares? Yeah, I'm actually surprised I got through that sentence.
Tasty alliteration, yeah, nailed that one.
Is under attack.
Yeah, so Vanscore is free-farming, but no one really cares.
I'm pretty sure Vanscore doesn't even care. She's like,
he's like,
push out this lane, stop the Slark, or whatever. Meanwhile, I mean, it's the Naga though. That's where the eyes are for me, and she's actually gone for the Boots of Travel. Yasha's Boots of Travel build, so going to be TPing all over the map. These illusions are going to be everywhere. Meanwhile, at top, yeah, they're going for Afrolinje. They're going to chase him down with the Frost. They're even going to use the roll for this one. Get that boy down, and down he goes. Finger comes out though in response. The Black Archangel will be dumpstered, and now they'll jump in and get the kill onto Sayu as well. 2 return kills for Gambit. They respond hard. Yeah.
And they're going to be able to take this tower, even though I'm not going to have any Nether Blasts. And Slark has really nothing better to do. He's not the best pusher, and it's far too late in the fight for him to join up top, so he's just going to try to do whatever. He's not even going to push. I mean, I know he's not a great pusher, but oh, he's quite foolish of me.
I feel like King R is definitely taking a leaf out of Blitz's book and being a ride or die bitch this game, because you know, they blow up everything onto the Pugner, and then King R immediately just comes in, no hesitation, finger the 100 HP target. You take one of mine, I'll take one of yours.
Is this like
Street life.
I don't know, I saw like Ashed Remains. Is that because of the Immortal, or is that because it's 7.20 changes? Because like I saw a unit, and then I saw like a big black statue replacing it, and I'm like, oh, did he get like astral imprisoned or something? I was like, no, it's just the remains of who got fingered.
I'll keep an eye out for it. Oh, Pig Pugner again. Afrolinje might be round 2 into the grave for him as they blow him up. No problems at all. The Netherblast doing very little indeed. And there is not going to be a response this time, actually. Dream running forwards with the Shadow Blade. They're pinging him out like crazy. Well, look out, guys. King R, is he going to go for the blind side? Yeah, he's going to cross the barrier into the realm of vision. Now he's going to have to go for the jump in, but the will, it catches him right on the edge, but now he jumps forward, dropping that ultimate. Just keep himself in his out of tower damage. They're looking for heroes, but it's struggling to find it. The Kraken Shell freeze. Afterlife as they use the roll out onto Vanscore, and the Rags will cut down this tree and make things a little bit easier for Dream to find one. Maybe going for 2, but has to be careful. He's got no more ulti left as Dahak comes into this one. He throws down the net, looking for Black Archangel, but no, he's backing himself away. They do not want to commit to this one. They are scared of this slot, and they have every right to be, because they do not have many ultimates left to deal with him as he sneaks his way around. Doesn't look like Empire are going to find any more here, but it's actually Empire. Oh, what?
Rubik's on the run. Thought that he could cut him off with an Illuminate, but then Rubik's like, oh sweet, free kill. 4 points in Fate Bolt, 3 points in Arcane Supremacy, easy.
Yep, go for it, buddy.
I'm a little bit disappointed with how long Dahak took to get into that fight. It's possible that his BOTs and his TP were both down, which is kind of odd, but whatever the case, like, there was a good 10 seconds at least where Lion and Tidehunter both knew that they were going to get very quickly attacked by a Slark, and then Coddle put out the Will-O-Wisp, and I would have thought that would have been enough time for Dahak to come in and use Song, but Song wasn't used. Maybe he was like, you guys can handle this, you don't need my help. was down, and so I don't know. It's a little bit surprising how apprehensive Dahak was to get in the fight, but it didn't end up being that big of a deal for Empire. Just start getting a little bit more of a lead.
I mean, I know that feeling. You know, there's a fight going on, and you're just like, man, like, you know, I'm just going for my GPM record this game. Like, I don't want to fight. I just want to.
I'm free farming right now.
Get that leaderboard position. I want a Nahaz tweet. That's what the hack's after. He wants a Nahaz tweet, but he ain't gonna get it because up onto the high ground he goes. He tries to bounce on, but no, the gaze is there. Can he pull it off? Yes, he can. Just about. Now using that shrine and TP knock away. Feels like a bit of greed to use a shrine as well as TP away there, but whatever.
I don't know. Maybe that frost shield could have finished him off. It was still ticking. He gets away. Song is spent defensively, but Ravage is up now, so it doesn't really mean that Empire suddenly gets a window to start doing stuff. And Arcane Rune up on Afo9, and Vangscore has maxed out Chakra Magic. They need to show up bot, otherwise 2 tiers are going to get claimed very quickly.
You know, with Naga using the Shrine, I remember when Shrines first came out, and I saw this Reddit post. It didn't get any traction. It was like a 5 upvote Reddit post, but it was like, Shrine abusers are ruining...
6 upvotes?
I definitely downvoted it. It was this guy saying that Shrines are being abused by my pub teammates and use them irresponsibly. This is when Shrines first came out. So every time someone uses a Shrine, everybody should get a pop-up that needs all 5 of you to vote for it before you can use Shrine. Can you imagine? Like, you're there half dead at the Shrine, just pinging on it desperately. Your teammate's just like, well...
Oh no.
You're dying to bet about the points. Anyway. I might need it later, so...
Dota 2's not a democracy, unfortunately.
Fortunately, some might say. As Gambit smoked up, getting all over Empire right now. And Naga, she's just up in the top lane. This is a 4-man fight. As now comes the finger, and Kodos is taken care of. They've also got the glitch inside this one as well. And this ultimate from the Coddle being so damn annoying, and they will finish him off as well. Gambit finding 2 kills, and Naga nowhere to be seen. Just farming up and farming up and farming up while the team get work done around the map. Gambit playing like clockwork right now and really feeling pretty good about it.
I mean, Naga nowhere to be seen, I'm fine with. The fact that Slark was fighting against a Naga and was also nowhere to be seen near that bot fight, that's troublesome, because Tidehunter did not have to use Ravage at all. They were able to successfully get that Arc Warden kill just off of a Gush, Earth Spike, and the Will-O-Wisp. So they have Ravage moving forward, and again, it's still maxed out Nether Blast, maxed out Chakra Magic. This is, and Aether Lens as well. This is such a free push for Gambit.
And they will take full advantage of that, helping their Pugna on the front lines. With that Tidehunter as well. They've also got the Frost Mage as well, as Tide had this helm on the Dominator, which I didn't really mention, but Tide helm, is this normal?
Yeah, like I said, usually people aren't necessarily going for the blink first, and you can completely skip the blink, which is what Force F is queued up for. It's either Dominator or Greaves. The Hood is a little bit surprising. I'm surprised that he found it necessary to go for a Hood, because there's not even really that much magic damage coming out.
Yeah, maybe he thought the Pugna was on the other team.
Or maybe he's just terrified of Arcane Supremacy. I don't know what the case is. Because they don't need a pipe either. I don't know. It's weird that he went for the Hood. But whatever the case, usually we'll see Dominator or Greaves. And then him skipping the blink, I'm also okay with that.
Have you seen the network chart though?
No, look at that.
Looking pretty, pretty stacked for Dahak here.
That's gold.
720 gold per minute at the 21-minute mark. That's pretty damn good.
And now they get to do this route for free because Tidehunter did not have to spend damage. Hawks are scouting it out.
Oh dear, gets killed by the Nether Blast. Poor little Hawk gave his life for the cause. He can no longer run away, can he, the Hawk?
And nope, he's committed to his location. He dies. He's ride or die. Oh, Hex up on the slot.
Oh, they have him on the backline, but the Will-O-Wisp going to hold him still. He's used the ultimate already. Then he's going to throw down the Ravage and finish him off. Dream is dead. And okay. Empire now have a Ravage to work with. I imagine they'll give away this Roshan and look for a fight later on with this Blink Ravage on the Rubik. And when their Slark is a little bit more healthy, but I think you got to run away now.
Arc Warden's not able to contest this rush without his...
And Naga commits the song. Alright. Dahak not really reading the room in this game very well.
Ravage, they were like, dude, I swear to God, if your Ravage costs us this Aegis... So defensive play, but I don't think that Gambit are in any rush to start doing anything with the Aegis. Dahak is getting close to his heart. I imagine they're just gonna let him farm it out. Which does give Arc Warden a little bit more time, but they know that Arc Warden does not have the Midas, so it's not as stressful as it typically is whenever you're like, oh god, we're farming, but also is Arc Warden, he's gonna outfarm us. It's not that big of a deal right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think... What's his GPM? He's currently sitting at 404, which is quite frankly bad for an Arc Warden.
Nagasaren's a country mile ahead of him, so Dahak feels no pressure whatsoever. Dream, though, he feels a lot of pressure.
Yeah, he's not having the best game in the world, and now that he's being hunted by this Naga under the sentry with the net, nothing but net, and Slug maybe, although the Rubik's coming in, he's got this Ravage, here we go, Ravage onto 5, this could be a nice turnaround, the chain cross comes through as well, but where's that follow-up damage? They're going to need a little bit more than what they're putting out right now, but down to the Tidehunter, he is dead, Dahak's dropping low as well, they'll take him down once, but the finger takes down Dream from the high ground, Kinga does find the snipe, it's going to be the rest of Empire to bring down Dahak for the second time, the Roar is out, the life drain from Alpha, although Boon's going to try and chase him away as down comes the lamp, going to force Empire into a deep slumber. Finally they manage to take down Vanscore. Yeah, gets him. They're looking for Dahak as well, but Dahak's so damn fast. This Naga Siren, she flies when actually that's a heart coming into her. She's going to come back into this fight and they're just like, oh no, Dahak suddenly full HP, what's going on? And they'll jump on top of the Arc Warden, but down he goes all the same. I mean, inside the bubble didn't protect him at all. Naga Siren doesn't care. Meanwhile, Kinga will die in response, and now get down from there, Zayu, as he used the Blinding Light. Return Blinding Light is popped, but I don't think it's going to be enough to keep this poor old Rubik alive as they hunt and hunt and hunt and hunt. And finally, they find the kill onto Zayu as well. So Team Empire, they end up losing 3, and thanks to a timely arrival of a heart from Nagasaran. I mean, it was a beautiful Ravage, no doubt about it, and there was nearly a fantastic fight, and they're not done.
Another one.
Hello, Dahak TPing across the map, thank you. Boots of travel, and now Beastmaster getting torn apart by the Tide and Dahak. They get no one right outside the base as well. No mercy being shown from Gambit. Oh no, not again.
On the run.
Hemorrhaging kills. I think he's alright there.
Yeah, and he has a to get back to base, but not having your Beastmaster buying back on the Rubik. Whole bunch of illusions knocking on this thing. Savage is back up now.
Yep.
It was an amazing initiation from Rubik. There's no situation where you don't go for that play. It's just that the Naga Siren is just too large right now, and Gambit didn't leave her out to dry. A lot of times, like, you know, your enemy carries, their Aegis is claimed like massively out of position. Pugna was like, it's okay, even if I die, it's worth it. I'm gonna Decrepify, Life Drain, ends up working out. The static shield makes it a little bit more difficult, otherwise I think Pugna would have played even more aggressively. But he stays alive, and that allows Nagasaran to get a whole bunch of cleanup kills with that heart regen.
Zayu on the front line, throwing down the net. Smokes to avoid.
Dude, what a value smoke! Holy moly, he was dead, guaranteed if he didn't do that.
Smoking saves your life sometimes. Not often. It doesn't happen.
No, not often at all. And Dream's gonna cut the wave, so it slows down the push a little bit longer. Although the bot wave is pushing, but Radiant's gonna back off.
15 and 12 right now on this kill line. It's a decent kill. I mean, it's been a pretty action-packed game, I'd say. Despite Dahak just kind of AFKing, but you know, he's now fighting, which is good.
Yeah, usually when it's an action-packed game, it's Slark who's the primary contributor, but not this game. Dream has no real place in this. Oh, he gets slept. I think I found his place.
Uh-oh.
He is the Shadow Blade.
I'm not gonna pop everything he has. Shadow Blade, Ultimate, Dark Pack, Leap, get the whole kitchen sink in there, and it's not even up. Sometimes you overcommit to an escape. Part of me wants to say that that might have been one of those times.
Oh man, they glyph the creep. Here comes the push.
The lone survivor, can they take him out? I mean, there's a whole nother creep wave behind him, so it doesn't really matter if they do, but they will do it all the same. Actually, they're not. I thought they were using that bubble to come forward here, but they're just using it to keep the racks alive a little bit longer. 9 seconds until the second. Oh, they force up and forward! Hello! And now the Ravage come through as well. Goodbye, Coders. He's gone. That is such a sick combo. Such a nice play from Gambit as well. Not often we get to see a 4-star used quite like that, but that was pretty special. Who was that? It was a
Tidehunter.
Yeah.
Usually you see his force staff and you're like, guys, we need to be careful. He might force into us and Ravage. No one ever expects the offensive force. Amazing. Doesn't get them anything, but it gets a Slark and Arc Warden buyback, which is arguably even more value than getting a Rex.
Yeah, possibly. Different win condition, that's for sure. And now the lamp comes down onto 3 heroes, and now Tide getting into the middle of it all. He doesn't have the rabbit, but he doesn't need it. They'll come through with the damage. Dahat coming in from the high ground, trying to get them down. Meanwhile, the counter lamp is there. Meanwhile, Chain Frost is ripping apart the Arc Warden. Dahat just sitting inside this bubble, though, not getting damaged at all, really. As Empire get up to the higher ground, Kodos is gone from this fight. Empire, they retreat, they reset. They're going to get their health and mana back, or at least a bit of it from this shrine. And, well, it's going to be a tough fight, but they got to go for it.
Of approach. Naga has sleep if they even commit.
Who's attacking whose high ground? I don't understand. As Slark jumps in, does manage to purge off both of the stuns from the line and bring him down. Afonje having to jump away from this one, but in come Gambit from the backlines. They're even going to saying to cancel these TPs, get these kids down. Slark, oh no, it's a full retreat actually from Gambit. They don't want to fight this. They want to get themselves away. Quite surprising if you ask me, but with the buyback from the Lich, they just want to get the most value out of this initiation as they can. And, well, they'll be happy to take this later on, although they're looking for the re-initiation. But Empire, they back away pretty quick, and over defusal that onto the Lich. He's going to use the Sims to gauge to try and keep himself alive a little bit longer. Next being thrown to Hack. He's going to send his illusions to do his dirty work for him, and they just tear him apart. No chance for the Lich. But 16 seconds until the Arc Warden is back. Maybe this will be enough for Empire to fight back and survive this. And yep, Gambit seem to be respecting that. They get themselves away. They'll take a shrine instead. They do get the middle racks, but that's about it.
It is a little bit surprising that they didn't choose to engage off of that sleep, but I guess the idea is they aren't in any rush. Gambit have all the time in the world to win this game. If you have Pugna sieging constantly, as Dream does manage to successfully kill the Coddle, but you need to kill the Naga Siren before you really have a plan to get back into this game. Not even like a chance to get back into it. And killing Naga Siren is like, okay, now we can start thinking about how do we win this game? She's 7-0-6 right now, and it's only getting harder. She has the butterfly completed on top of her heart.
Agreed. I don't mean to fat shame, but this Naga Siren is PHAT. Yeah. They're going on the slug. The decrepify finger! Nether Blastic! God! His witness assassination, kids. That was.
Homie's got 250 extra damage on his finger now.
Let's go.
Oh, the tooltip doesn't dynamically update. I was like, oh wow, that seems like a normal amount of damage.
Mine's telling me it's got a scepter.
Yeah, well, I think it's just for some reason it's not showing like an alt thing, because I thought the scepter stuff shows up under alt. But yeah, because I saw that and I was like, wow, he has a scepter already.
Yeah, I know, me too. I was like, excuse me. Well,
he doesn't need one. Gambit had this game locked up.
Both need to kill his block. And Dahat, he's found a double damage rune. There you go. There's a way to end the game for you, and there is nothing Empire can really put into this one without their Slark. These racks are going to Gambit's way, and there is nothing that Sayo and Sesmoon can do about it. They watch their buildings fall. One barrack remaining. That's all that's standing between Gambit and the grand finals.
They deserve it. Again, like, I'm struggling to figure out what Empire's draft is supposed to do. Yet again, I'm struggling to see the relevance of their support heroes, like Lich not really doing anything. Rubik has managed to steal great spells, but in the context of their entire draft, he's not really providing, like his instant lockdown isn't that useful. His Fade Bolt isn't that great at like being counter push. His steals aren't being able to win team fights definitively. He's a great hero, it's just not helping that much in this game.
Afo's sitting inside the pit. He's got this Aeon Disc, and I'm worried that Empire are going to overcommit to this one. As they actually see the Tidehunter, this is the guy who wants to break the smoke. They immediately jump onto the Pugna here, but they can't quite find the kill. Now Slark jumping very far forward for this one. Looks for Vanscore instead, but now his perk done. Dark Pact and the finger comes through again. King R, the assassinator, the man with a finger and a plan. And that plan involves one thing, it's killing Slarks, baby. Rabbit lands on no one. Oh no, it very late lands on Kodos there, but hey, if it lands, it lands. I ain't gonna complain. And he's just trying to keep himself alive with this bubble, but with the illusions doing their work, they just tear him apart all the same. He's just taking damage from Riptides alone there.
I don't even know if the illusions were doing anything. I think Naga Siren is just so outrageously big that she was like, I'm just gonna step in the bubble. The illusion's just gonna jam up my space in this game. And they do, I mean, at the very end, super amazing Will-O-Wisp placement. Slark went in super deep, and he was like, guys,